Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, which is on chapter 256. Now, this chapter right here, I actually really enjoyed it, really glad about it, because I know last week it got me and a lot of people upset, and they say that it was a garbage chapter because of what just happened, because of what's been going on. Even though, like, I stated my points and my reasons here and there, but this chapter finally clear things up and it actually makes sense. Thank goodness for that. So if anything else, let's just get this recap started. We have to it that Merlin goes on to say that the holy sword Excalibur contains the souls of several human heroes and it has chosen Arthur. But we have to it that Hawk says even with the holy sword, Arthur alone does not stand a chance of beating Meliodas and the others, which worries Merlin. And we see to it that Hawk reminds Merlin that reality isn't that easy, and that is the truth. And we have to it that freaking like Arthur's like, "You're still alive," and then someone mocks him by saying, "You are still alive." Is that a joke? And Chandler therefore says, "Honestly, your blow had no effect at all." And Arthur's like, "What the heck? Impossible. How did you?" And Chandler's like, "I really want to know how good that sword could do. It looks like to me it was pathetic." Even Cusack backs Chandler up by saying, "I was very bored and thought it would be fun. It was better than what I imagined. Thank you for that." And we have to it that Chandler reminds freaking Cusack, like, "Not that it matters, but your mustache." He goes like, "My mustache? What's wrong with my mustache?" And apparently one of Cusack's mustaches just got cut off, apparently. And it was just hilarious, dude. I was just laughing off so hard right there. And we had to it that freaking like Chandler or freaking like Cusack goes like, "Oh, you the number one mustache in the demon round. Looks like you really did a number, alright." And we have to it that Cat tells Arthur to awaken his magical power, because if you do not awaken it, it's all pointless. But Arthur says, "Why are you saying that? Even if my power hasn't awakened, as long as I have Excalibur, I will not be defeated." But apparently Arthur gets attacked by a demonic roar of aura from the four demons. I mean, their aura alone was actually scaring the living hell out of Arthur. Even Cat managed to send a message to Merlin by saying, "Arthur is going to die." And all of a sudden, Arthur could not pick up the sword and it gotten really heavy, and all of a sudden he feels pain, physical pain and distraught in his body, and he actually feels wounded all of a sudden. He goes like, no, just a little more, give me the strength." And we have to it that Cusack lectures and scolds Arthur by saying, "Listen here, you little brat. There are two grave mistakes you made. One is your mortal lack of power. Perhaps the souls of the human heroes are present inside the sword, and that gives you strength. However, to be able to use that power, you need a strong body and spirit. You may have trained, but you don't even come close to the heroes of the past." So Cusack reminds Arthur, like, you really want to use the sword's full potential? You have to be at the same level as those human heroes are. And surprisingly enough, if I remember correctly, Arthur's magical power might be high, but I guess his strength and spirit is not really strong. And Cusack proves to that. And he even says that, and the proof of that is that your body can't handle the burden or wounds you suffered. You self-destructed completely. And second, you chosen the wrong opponents, which Cusack reminds Arthur. And Cusack tells Arthur, truthfully, the Demon Clan has feared human heroes, but this was only the case for ordinary demons. So pretty much, Cusack tells Arthur, like, human heroes were feared by the Demon Clan, but that was just ordinary demons. But when it comes to high-ranking demons like Cusack and the others, that's a different story. And he even tells, Arthur says, "Don't forget we are demons of the highest rank, and that is something you don't want to be messing with." And all of a sudden, he ends up using a magic on Arthur and says, "We aren't like humans who are all the same. Look, the heroes are right. the heroes are rising. And we have to it that Cusack says, okay, enough talk. Let's just put your determination to the test, okay? Typically, royalty who disrespected us were cut into small pieces and fed to the hydras of the demon realm. But such a scene is not worthy of Lord Zeldris' eyes, so I'm gonna simply just smash your heart. And Merlin appears right in front of him and says, before you do that, and uses Icicle Castle on Cusack, and he couldn't move for a bit. And we have to it that Merlin compliments Arthur by saying, good job, Arthur, for staying alive this long. And Merlin says, by sending your thoughts to me, you've saved him. And we have to it that Meliodas, who's not the same, tells Merlin, return the commandment of faith right now, Merlin. I'm not going to ask you again. And we have to it that Merlin reminds Meliodas, the same way you want to become Demon King to save Elizabeth, your friends are doing everything possible to save you, your life, and your lover. Don't forget that. As Merlin disappears, Meliodas can only stare on in total rage or something. And we have to it that Merlin comes back with Arthur in his hands along with Kath. They go like, Merlin, did you really went to Camelot? If something happened to you, what the hell would have happened? And we have to it that Merlin just says, don't be nervous, Deanne. I brought Arthur back safely. And therefore Merlin asks Elizabeth to heal Arthur's wounds, and Escanor can only look on in jealousy. Which I really don't mind, because we all know Escanor loves Merlin. There's no denying that. But aside from that, Hawk was actually concerned about Kath, but Kath says, I'm fine, don't worry about me, just take care of Arthur first. And of course Hawk says, no, we have to take care of you as well. But apparently Chandler asks Cusack, don't tell me you're going to let that brat escape with her. And Cusack's like, you know, I wasn't careful enough. It won't happen again. I'm going to deal with that brat right now. He therefore still has that spell on Arthur he used, which is called Resonant. And later on, all of a sudden, Arthur somehow is doing the same actions as Cusack, and Cusack made Arthur stab himself. And Arthur does stab himself, and everyone can only look on in shock, especially Kat with those freaking shocked eyes, and Merlin screaming out Arthur in total misery and agony after seeing Arthur stab himself with Excalibur, and he falls. And the next title is called Time for Sortai. So in this chapter, I'm pretty sure a lot of fans, including myself, are very happy of what happened in this chapter. Honestly, we thought Nakaba Sensei was really going to make things ugly, but that is not really the case. Thank goodness for that. Oh my lord. I was about to freaking be a little upset, but this chapter right here actually became very, very good and relevant to the end. But as I said, I'm going to say this right now once I get to that ending right there, honestly, I don't think Arthur is going to die. I mean, he'll be critically injured and possibly go into a coma, but he's not going to die. He's way too important in the story to die. Not to mention, Merlin says that Arthur is still having an important role to play for the future for the war or against the Demon Clan. So yeah. So here's a couple things we could get out of this chapter, which is good. That Cusack, Zeldris, and Chandler are unharmed. Pretty much Arthur's really shocked about this, but Cusack also lectures and scolds Arthur for being an idiot by saying, you want to use that sword, in order to use Excalibur, you really had to have a strong body and a strong spirit. If you don't have that, you just self-destructed. Not to mention, you chose the wrong opponents, because ordinary demons would be afraid of human heroes like you. But us, as the highest ranked demons, that's a different story. And therefore, Cusack also shows one of his abilities to somehow mind control Arthur with Resonant and makes him stab himself after Merlin escapes with Arthur. And that just shows that maybe Cusack is living up to his title right now as a highest ranking demon, not to mention maybe the napping demon. Although we have yet to see his full abilities as a highest ranked demon, I guess one of them is complete mind control and makes Arthur stab himself. So not only does that happen, is like not only does that happen, Arthur really falls down to what the hell is gonna happen to him. But I'm gonna say this right now, and from then on, etc., especially what happens at the ending where Cusack made Arthur stab himself, I don't think Arthur's gonna die. If Cusack really missed the part where he should have stabbed Arthur in the freaking heart instead of the chest or the head whatsoever, I don't think Arthur's really going to die. I mean, even if that does happen, he's too important for the story, as I said, because he has an important role to play against the Demon Clan, as Merlin stated. Like, he has to awaken his magical power, or it's all for naught. Which is why Cat tells Arthur, "Have you awakened your magical power? If you did not do that, it's all for nothing." And guess what happened? Cusack made Arthur stab himself, and he down to the ground, and Merlin could only scream out in agony and misery. So, yeah, pretty much that's where we're gonna have to get through here. But as I said, and repeating myself the third time, Arthur is not going to die. As I said, critically injured and possibly go into a coma, but he's not going to die. Because he's too important to the story, and he has an important role to play. It'll be kind of ridiculous just to throw him off the series of story, and it'll be too sad or very, very bad, because he's been built up for a long time, and just to throw him off at this point, even though he did hold his own for a while, it'll be such a waste, because I'm pretty sure he has a lot of development to show, and his magical power has yet to show. We'll have to see about that. And, again, where the hell is Bot? Okay, until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So, I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!